What's up, y'all? What's going on, good people? Hope everybody had a good day. Yeah. I know it's late. I know. You guys are like tripping. Yeah, like this dude is late already. All right, listen. Had a lot of stuff going on. But anyway, I'm here. Thank you guys for joining. Really appreciate it. Yeah, let's not labor anymore. Let's get into some of these news, some of these topics. But listen, the stream itself that you're watching, the stream may be glitchy, but doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. It's going to clear up. I don't know. Facebook is just crazy. I mean, they're deleting posts today. They're doing a lot of things. But let me get some shout outs right quick. Maria Gray, Gabrielle, Shonda, a couple of the people here. If you join and I haven't said your name, please charge it to this, not here, because I don't see it a lot. All right. I'm trying to hold up for the stream to clear, and then we can go and do some things. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for staying up, you insomniacs. And if you're watching this on the rerun, sorry about that I was late. But anyway, I got some good stuff for you tonight. I really do. I have some good stuff for you, and I really want to get into it. So I want to somebody, we got to talk about a lot of things. On Tuesday, I spoke about a lot of topics, just some entertainment topics, but it's really good topics. They were really good topics. So anyway, if you haven't watched Tuesday video, I urge you, I was actually in the car traveling, but I urge you to go and watch that. If you have not, if you have seen it, good. So you know exactly what we're going to be talking about tonight. Yes, you saw in the title, we're going to be talking about Cardi B alleged, see, I had to say alleged, meaning that there has been proven. There is an accuser. As you know, earlier last week, Cardi B has made a video in reference to that she drug men and she also robbed them. And so it caused a huge form of controversy from a lot of people. A lot of people were saying, what are we going to do about Cardi B? What are we going to do about this stuff? And all those different things. And, when it came out, and I guess she was just trying to be ratchet or whatever the case may be, but it just happened, right? So we have an alleged accuser coming out. His name is Kevin Smith. He goes on Instagram and he tells his story, right? He tells his whole entire story about what happened between him and Cardi, all those different things. So I'm going to read the story to you, and I tried to block out some of the expletives in reference to it, but I'm going to read the story to you. All right, here's the story I'm bringing on the screen here. This is his Instagram story. Here we go. Let's talk about this. And let me bring myself on the screen so you guys can see me so you won't think that I'm crazy or nothing. Hope you guys doing good. All right. Let's see here. Let's do this here. Yeah, let's do it like this. All right, here we go. This is what we have. This is what Mr. Kevin said. Kevin said, I was in New York about 5 years ago. All right. Training, and my trainer suggested that we go to a strip club. Normally, I would have turned him down, but this time I decided to go. So boom, we went to the strip club and I met Cardi. I'm feeling her and convinced her to come back to my room to have a drink. I've been drinking already, so I had to piss. I slid to the bathroom, came back and finished off my drink. Last thing I remembered was she was twerking on me. Twerking is the dance. Okay, just want to make sure you guys know about this. She was twerking on me, music blasting, and that was it. That's what he said he's remembered. The next morning, he saw a used condom on the floor, and then I noticed all the cash I had, which was about $850, my Louis Vuitton belt, and my iPod Touch was missing. I tried calling her several times, but I soon realized she gave me her Google Voice number. Okay. But he said, I know she did it but I couldn't prove it. So I never went to file charges, mainly because I did not want my fiance at the time to know what had happened. So I took my L. I can't lie. It was certainly traumatizing. And as a man, you would never want to admit that you was taken advantage of. No man wants to say, me too, says Smith. Now, according to the state of New York, Smith is still within his time frame to press charges. According to the state statute at this time, Smith says he will decline to press charges and that he just wants to move forward with his life. So this is an alleged Cardi B accuser, ladies and gentlemen. This is an alleged Cardi B accuser, and he's come out and he said, now this is the first one, right? And Cardi said that there was a ton of them. All right, this is Mr. Smith. Let's bring him on the screen here. This is Mr. Smith to the right. Let me go and blow this up for you guys to see. This is Mr. Smith, and this is Cardi here. And you guys know Cardi used to be a stripper, and she knows that. So, I mean, hey, you know, I said this, you know, when Cardi made this statement, I was like, she better hope that there's nobody that's going to accuse her of all those different things. But hey, apparently Mr. Smith is saying this is what happened. Now, Mr. Smith probably feels as if that, like he said, I mean, it took a lot of guts. It took a lot of guts. But one thing I'm noticing that is happening within this exchange that has happened, that has not happened within a lot of exchange like the Kavanaugh, Bill Cosby, and a lot of these different people who have come forward, I'm noticing there's not a lot of love for Mr. Smith. And I'm just trying to figure out, why is there not a lot of love for Mr. Smith? If we're going to believe her, can we not believe him? That's my question. Okay. So does Mr. Smith get an opportunity to have the same vigor and support that other women have had in reference to, you know, being taken advantage of, sexual assaults and all those different things? That's my question. I don't have an opinion on that. And that is the question I have. Stevie's seen this coming. Absolutely. A lot of people seen this coming. And I guarantee you, Mr. Smith would not be the last person. The way Cardi put it out there, I'm pretty sure there was a lot of brothers and a lot of men and whoever that she said it. Nobody asked her. This is her statements. This is what she said. This is what she said. But my question is why is society not dealing with Cardi B's statements, right? Can you imagine if a rapper, like I said before on Tuesday, can you imagine if a rapper came out and admitted, I had to do what I had to do and this and that? And they've done that before. And I believe some has suffered the consequences. The question is, and I've asked this question on Tuesday, are we canceling Cardi B? Because to me, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? That's from Malcolm X. But anyway, here's the question. Is Cardi B, is this accuser, can this particular accuser receive the same affection or the same attention and the same vigor that many other accusers have received? Is it different because he's a man? Is it different because he's a man? Or is it different because he has decided to come forth, or because he cheated on his fiance at the time? I mean, is it different? That's my question. And he said all he can remember, meaning that the fact that he possibly was drugged or so intoxicated that he doesn't remember. So this is my question. Let's just talk about this. Can Mr. Smith get the same attention that we have given many accusers? Can we believe him? It's the question. Anybody got answers? Can we believe him? Oh, Shonda, you commented. You said, oh, those women didn't get love. They had supporters, but they also were vilified. Okay, I agree with that. They were vilified. But here's the attention. Mr. Smith has come out and said that Cardi B has done this. What are your take on this? What's the take on this? Are you with Mr. Smith, or are you going to vilify him, or does he get the same attention as many people or many accusers? Or is there just lopsided type of accusers? Because I remember this. When this movement first started, I was telling people there are many men who have gone through similar situations that women have gone through. The difference is at this particular time, women are talking. Now, when the men start talking, will they receive the same type of attention that many people have received? That is a question I have, ladies and gentlemen. I am very curious about that. Okay. That's what I want to know from you guys. Please tell me. All right. And you guys can leave your comments there in the story. We can talk about that later. On to some other news. Pastor John Gray. Pastor John Gray is back in the news. Guys, if you don't know who Pastor John Gray is, let me just bring his picture on the screen here. Pastor John Gray, and I save you from reading the story and all that. Here's Pastor John Gray. Pastor John Gray, he is the new pastor of Relentless Church. And if you guys don't know who Pastor John Gray is, he is a pastor in Greenville, South Carolina. He has had some controversies in reference to him starting he did not start the ministry. Ron Carpenter used to be a part of the ministry, who used to be the pastor. So Pastor John Gray is now back in the news. And you guys are probably saying to yourself, for what? Why is this brother back in the news, right? You probably ask yourself, why is this brother back in the news? Well, let's talk about it. Why is John Gray back in the news? John Gray is back in the news, and I save you the time of reading and all those different things. It's because he has now asked church members to help him pay for the roof of the church. Yes, he has. He said that the church needs $250,000. And I'm just going to go out here. He brought in his financial advisor. He said that when he took over the church, the church was in debt. As a matter of fact, Gray broke down the church's financial needs on February the 10th, saying that the roof needed repairs, and that could be made if 2,500 people gave $100 or more. Then half could be raised if 500 people gave $300. So he goes on to say, so we need 499 cause I got $300 on it. Anybody else? And he goes on to the auctioneer. If you ever been into a black church, you understand how I got $5 over here. I need a line that's over here. I need $100 line. I need a $200 line. I need $1,000 line. I need a $5. And wait. I'm going to pronounce a blessing over everybody who give $100 or more. But if you get under $100, I'm just going to be like, all right, I'll holler at you. That's John Gray. He's back in the news. So yes, Danielle, you said he needs to sit down. So let me tell you, John Gray now needs $250,000 to help with the church. He says that the church was in debt. This is what he says. He said the church was in debt and the church needs repairs. Now keep in mind that John Gray just recently, back in February, purchased his wife a $250,000 Lamborghini, a Lambo, as we call it, a Lambo. He's purchased that. So there was some question, did John Gray use the church's money? There's some question there, but I'm not sure if we were able to even get that question answered. But we know that John Gray is now seeking $250,000. Now, not only that, this is what I saw within this news story, and I'm going to go ahead and pull it up because I don't want to misquote it, because I want you guys to really hear and understand this. This is what he said. He said because of all of the climate change. I'm going to read this to you guys. And Gray said that God told him, now this is what he said, God told him to expect strong natural disasters in South Carolina this year that will require Relentless Church to be the place of refuge for those seeking shelter from the storms. He goes on to say, the Holy Ghost said to me that I'm going to speak it out, and there will be severe weather coming to this region in the spring because of all the climate change. Whether you understand into science or believe it or not, I agree. And this is what he said. So this is why he's saying that the church, Relentless Church, was able to be a refuge and all those different things. But ladies and gentlemen, as you know, that John Gray is a very wealthy man. He has a TV show on Oprah called The Book of John Gray. But one of the things that caught my attention there, we really didn't talk about this because I really don't like to talk about financial issues unless it's dealing with nonprofit organizations. John Gray and Relentless Church came back into the spotlight back in January. We didn't talk about this back in January, when Greenville News reported that John Gray was living in a $1.8 million home in Sampsonville that was funded by who? The church. Ding, 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 ding. It says church leaders said that the particular porridge is what was needed to entice the pastor of Gray's caliber to come to Greenville. So, ladies and gentlemen, the church is paying a $1.8 million home in Simpsonville, South Carolina. Now, you guys are probably saying to yourself, $1.8 million is a lot of house, right? I haven't seen the house, so I'm not going to show you a picture. But $1.8 million is a lot of house. It's a whole lot of house, especially in Greenville. Okay, y'all? Especially in Greenville, South Carolina. Well, where the median household income in Greenville, South Carolina is around $45,000, $50,000. So you know that $1.8 million is a ton of a house in Greenville, South Carolina. We're talking about South Carolina. We're not talking about New York or California or even Dallas area or Chicago. We're talking Greenville, South Carolina. And now he seeks $250,000 from the church, ladies and gentlemen. He needs $250,000 from the church. This is my problem with a lot of these pastors. Why do you need to stay in such a lavish home? A lavish home. And it's not just John Gray. It's so many pastors that are doing this. It's so many pastors that feel as if that they have to live like a baller. Let's just be honest. They have to live like a baller. They have to dress like a baller. They have to ride like a baller. They have to do all these things like a baller. Shot caller. They got to do all of this in order to entice people, in order to make people feel as if they need to come to God. You know what's so funny? It's like, I heard this preacher, it was Creflo Dollar. He's has a church in, it's not Decatur, East Point. I think it's East Point in Georgia, Atlanta area. He has a church, and he made this equivalent. This is when they were in the news, Eddie Long, George Myers, and Creflo Dollar, and he was trying to defend the fact that, you know, how he lives and what he drives. And he said that a donkey, because we know that Jesus Christ, Jesus Christos, rode a donkey. He tried to say that a donkey was equivalent to a Mercedes, or equivalent to the highest type of vehicle that you can drive. Now, which is not true, because we know today that a donkey is never on the same class as a horse or a thoroughbred. So I just wanted to say that, okay? This is the problem with the church, not just the black church, not just the white church. This is the problem with this prosperity form of gospel, that it shows that you can buy your way into heaven, or you can look like this, when really, honestly, as a member, as a pastor, you getting all this money from all these parishioners, and your parishioners are broke. I'm curious how many people within Relentless Church is jobless. I'm curious. You remember a couple of weeks ago, John Gray passed out money. Y'all remember that? He passed out money to all of his parishioners, and he said, yo, here's some money. And he said God laid it on his heart. Maybe they should have kept that money to go and pay for the repairs of that church. Maybe John Gray needs to stay in a home, maybe about $250,000 in. And that's a nice home. You can get a nice 5-bedroom home in Greenville, South Carolina. I'm pretty sure you could get a nice home in Greenville, South Carolina for under $250,000. I guarantee you. Why do you need a $1.8 million home? And why does wifey need to drive a Lambo? Now, John swears that that's his money. Now, it could be his money, okay? It could be his money. But as he being a new pastor, now I have plenty of pastor friends, and some of you guys are probably watching me, and you probably will agree with this. He's a new pastor. The majority of new pastors will do what? They will go in their pocket, and they will foot the bill, at least the majority of the bill. Why? Because they are the pastor, right? So my question is, if Gray is sitting on $250,000, why not just drop $150 and be like, yo, I'm dropping $150 because the repairs of the church is needed. I'm going to drop $150. I'm going to need y'all to just drop $100. We there, right? We there. I would have been okay with it. But when you stay in a $1.8 million home that the church is paying for, and then we don't know if you use the church's money to go and pay for the Lambo or not. I mean, come on. At this point in time, y'all, I do not see John Gray staying at Relentless Church. That's just my opinion. I put my hand out there. I do not see John Gray staying at Relentless Church. I've seen many pastors that go and come and they will rob, I literally said rob, churches, and then they'll pick up and they'll leave and they're bringing another pastor, and that pastor would turn around and then try to deal with the debt of that particular church. That's what typically happens. If you don't believe me, ask your spiritual advisor of Donald Trump, Paula White. That's exactly what her and her husband did in Florida. They had a church called Without Walls. They left that church completely in debt, hugely in debt. They had a divorce. She went one way, he went another way. They have a new pastor, or they may have the same pastor. I don't know. But the church is in debt after they paid settlements and after they given money to Paula White and all those different things. So I'm telling you guys this whole prosperity gospel, I'm sick and tired of it, because there are a lot of people who are just broke listening to this foolishness. There are a lot of people who understand now. Okay, so let me look at the other side of it. A lot of people say, well, I'm tired of being broke. I'm tired of not having money. I'm tired of this and I'm tired of that. Okay, I get it, right? I get it. But I do believe that if you are a Christian, or if you, whatever faith you are in, I do believe that your monetary worldly income is not going to seek your advisement or your promotion. I believe that. I believe that your financial income does have nothing to do with your status as you go in that. So I just really feel like we need to really sit down and start denouncing some of this BS that we're hearing out on the airways and all those different things, and I'm not just picking on John Gray. This prosperity gospel started long time ago. I just go out on a limb. You guys remember, I stay in Tulsa. You remember Oral Roberts. Okay, Oral Roberts used to, we was in DC. Oral Roberts used to come on television and said that God was going to kill him if he didn't get $100,000 by the end of that broadcast. That's what that brother said. Do you hear me? I'm not lying to you. And let me tell you, my grandmother would sit up there and she'd get her check from Social Security. She'd get up there and she'd write that man some money. And I was like, Grandma, why are you doing this? Why are you doing? She was like, I don't want God to kill him. And I was like, what? I was like, well, I don't want God to kill. I was like, he hustling. Yo, he hustling people. You don't see this? You don't see this? I was like 10, 12 years old. I was like, but I can recognize a hustle all day long. So it didn't just start with Creflo Dollar and Kenneth, all these people. It didn't just, this stuff has been going on for a long time. And I know you guys probably remember Oral Roberts, and correct me if I'm wrong, you guys know that he used to come on television or on TV and he used to say, yo, I'm going to die if I don't get this money. Y'all remember Prosperity Gospel, Kenneth Hagin? He used to come on, I need this money. I need this money. And people gave, nothing happened to them, but they just kept giving. Yo, that's a hustle. And I know a lot of you guys don't want to talk about this because a lot of you guys are friends with it and all that stuff. But I'm just here to tell you that whole notion of give money to the church and let me grow and let me be bank. And then while the rest of us out here in this world are pinching pennies and scraping dollars just to pay the bills, that mess got to stop, y'all. So let's get smarter. Let's get smarter. All right, guys, let me go into another story. Let's talk about it, y'all. Let's talk about it. This is where we are right now. This is exactly where we are right now. There's a woman who sprayed racist graffiti at the Oklahoma Democratic Party headquarters. She sprayed it. We're assuming it was last night. That's what she did. She went out and she sprayed it. The reason we're saying she is because there is surveillance pictures of a woman. I will show you in a minute, of a woman spraying these things. And we have all the hatred information. She talked about Jews. She talked about black people. She talked about LGBTQ people. She even had a symbol of a swastika. She had another symbol, it was 1488, another symbol. That's what happened when people went to work in the morning. You saw it on Facebook. This was horrible. This was some horrible crap, right? The mayor, I don't know if the mayor came out and said anything, but I know the governor came out and denounced this. We've had a lot of people. We even had the Republican state chair come out there and they interviewed her. I just saw it in a minute. She was crying. She was like, this cannot be tolerated. And I'm saying to myself, you back a racist president, and you up here crying because you see this? Okay, so apparently we don't know if this woman also did this too, because right down the street, down in Chickasaw, somebody else wrote some vandalism stuff. Chickasaw Nation building. It says Indians will be gassed. Another hateful message, just like that. It was right down the street from the Oklahoma Democratic Party headquarters. This is what happens. People came out, and one of the things I've heard constantly, and it was sad to me when I moved over here, they said, in the midst of adversities, Oklahoma stands strong. And we saw that today. We saw people coming out, scraping things, just painting over all of this stuff. We saw all of this stuff that went down. We saw it, and it happens. This is just something that we have to deal with within the state, and other states have to deal with this as well. But, ladies and gentlemen, we shouldn't have to deal with this, because why? This is 2019, and people need to keep your hatred to the side, because we don't want to have any parts to do with that. All right, let me show you the picture that the news is circulating in reference to who this woman is. Let me bring this person on the screen. Here she is right here. This is what we see right here. This person here is supposed to be the person that they think committed the spray paint. That's the swastika there with blue paint. This is her again. Yes, the pictures are kind of grainy. And this is her again spraying the 1488. And if you guys, I don't know who she is. We don't know who she is. So this is what was happening. Let me see if I can blow the picture up right here. It's really grainy, guys. So I don't know if I can blow it up. But anyway, so this is the person. They do have surveillance video. This is probably the best picture here. Right here. This is probably the best picture here. But this is surveillance video, and they've captured this. They've captured this video, this image here of this one, because there are cameras. So why is this happening? In my opinion, this is happening because we have a commander-in-chief that has given racism a green light. In my opinion, we have a commander-in-chief that is giving racism and racists a green light. Why is this okay? This is not okay. I'm glad that the governor of Oklahoma, I'm glad that, the Republican chair came out. I'm glad of that. But here's the problem. My issue is the reactive nature that we have in this state and in this country. Reactive. We don't say anything until something happened. Oh, this is bad. It's like a person did something bad, so we all going to come together, have a kumbaya moment, and just say we're going to denounce hate. Right. But wouldn't it make more sense to prevent hate? How do we prevent hate? We prevent hate by, number one, let's sit back and make hate crimes a felony. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, in Oklahoma, hate crimes is a misdemeanor. Did you hear what I just said? Hate crimes. This woman, if she is caught and if she's charged with a hate crime, she would be charged as the hate crime is a misdemeanor. It is not a felony. As a matter of fact, I went on Governor Stitt's Twitter page today, and I asked him, will you be able to work with the Senate and also the House to pass it, to get a bill passed, and you will sign it to make hate crime a felony? And this is what we're talking about here, ladies and gentlemen. Why do people do this stuff? Now, let's just say she did this, she gets caught. Let's just say she's charged with a misdemeanor. And I mean, that's not a deterrent. You understand what I'm saying? Felonies are deterrent, and people stay in prison for a long period of time. This is why I believe that stuff like this happens, because our laws allow it to happen. Okay, number one. Number two, I believe our politics has a lot to do with this. When you make racists comfortable, they're going to go out there and exercise. You guys are on Facebook all day long, and you on Twitter all day long. You see it. You hear about it. You see the racists. We try to get them exposed. We try to get them fired. But it seemed like we get rid of 10 racists. Here's 100 more. It's almost like roaches. It's like you get rid of 10. Here's 100 more. And this is what's happening. This is exactly what is happening. Kevin did not respond. Governor Stitt, he did not respond. I didn't figure that he would respond. But listen, I think this is important. I think this is a pivotal moment that you can reach across the aisles, because to me, hate is not a partisan issue, right? It's not a Democrat, it's not a Republican issue. It is an issue that needs to be dealt with. And that's something I think that the governor can sit back and say to themselves, let's be a model, let's be a beacon. It's not a partisan issue. It is an issue that's saying that we don't want to have hate. But here's the problem. The Republican Party need to check their biases, because you have a president who uses hate as a symbol to create a wedge, and you label that crap as policies. That's not policies. That's hate. When you could get up there on camera and joke about people who have disabilities, about my African American, when you get up here and you say stuff of that nature, you are giving racism the green light. We already seen, what was it? February. We saw the bomber who sent all those, what is it, anthrax or some type of powdery substance to all Donald Trump's accuser, his building, his van, and all those different things. And even to this day, you will go on your social media platform and you will read this story about what happened in Oklahoma City, and people are saying it's an inside job. This is the first thing they're saying. And it's almost as if that we're under the belief that people are going to do this. And we turn around and think, oh, Jesse Smollett did it, so why couldn't nobody else do it? I'm telling people like this, listen, y'all, listen. For every fake person, there is 1,000 real things. Okay, so let's not focus our attention on someone who has perpetrated or fake crime. Let's focus our attention on let's proving the fact that this is not a fake crime. So I don't know, y'all. I mean, I think more hate is coming. I think it's just going to happen. Even Donald Trump himself said this: if the Mueller report comes back and it was bad for me, or you guys try to get rid of me, it's going to be terror all over the country. It's going to be something of that nature. This is what he's saying, right? And nobody turned around and said, ooh, Donald Trump, this is bad. No. Nobody said any of this. You know what happened? The pundits got on television and they started talking. Oh, look at what Donald Trump said today. Oh my God, look what he said today. It's almost like we're enamored with his words. I don't know. All right, guys, my last and final story of the night, and then I will definitely let you go. Here's the story. This man, I'm going to show you this story right here. It broke my heart. Some of you guys may know this story already. Let me give it his name right quick so I can tell you about this. His name is Mr. Archie Williams. Mr. Archie Williams. And I paraphrase the whole story, save you some time. Okay. Mr. Archie Williams. Mr. Williams served 36 years behind bars, ladies and gentlemen. 36 years behind bars. 36 years. 36 years in a prison they nicknamed called Angola. This is in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Mr. Williams served 36 years. I keep saying this, 36 years. Not minutes, not weeks, not seconds, but years. 36 years. He watched his mother move closer to the prison. She died in late 90s. Dad died early 2000s. He served 36 years. Why? Why did he serve 36 years? He served 36 years because he was accused of rape. Notice how we keep looking at these exonerees and they happen to just be black. Served 36 years because of a rape that he did not commit. Okay? So while he was in prison, he literally petitioned the court to get his fingerprints tested. Well, there was no law that mandated the DA to test his fingerprints. There was no law. So he kept fighting. He even wrote the Innocence Project back in 1999 and said, I am broke, I'm poor, I'm black. Nobody's going to listen to me, but I'm innocent. 36 years behind bars. So last week, the courts did what? Tested his fingerprints. And what in the hell did they find out? They found out that Mr. Williams' fingerprints did not match in the crime scene. Matter of fact, it was somebody else who fingerprints that match. Mr. Williams wanted his fingerprints to be matched in the crime database. The man who actually raped this woman died in prison, early 2000s. He died in prison. But let me tell you what he did. He went on to rape 5 more women after this. And he was in jail, not for rape, but on something else. But he died in prison. Now, many people would turn around and say, well, the guy got his accuser. The guy got just what he did. He did die in prison, all those different things. But you put an innocent man behind bars. And the DA only said to him, I'm sorry. Under the state's guidelines in Louisiana, he is only eligible to receive $250,000. That's an average of $7,000 a year. America. 13th Amendment says that slavery has been abolished, except if you're a prisoner. America. This is not the first incidents that we keep seeing that's happening. Hundreds of people are being exonerated because of technicalities. Hundreds of people haven't committed a crime. And notice these people are black. Notice these people are minorities. America. Yes, we have the technology, but you can't give this man 36 years back of his life. You know what he said? He said, I have no anger. I have no animosity. He patterned himself to Joseph in the Bible when Joseph was thrown into slavery and he came out and he became king. He said he has no animosity. He just want to go to college. He went in when he was 22. He's now 50-something years old. America. Y'all see this stuff that's happening. Y'all see this. This man, $250,000, that ain't going to do nothing for him. And you know you got to pay taxes on it. Nothing. 36 years. And he was in Angola. It is a nicknamed prison in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. That is one of the roughest prisons in the world. Not just America. The world. There's deaths, rapes every minute in Angola. If you don't believe me, Google Angola prison in Louisiana. You will see stories after stories after stories. America. So, ladies and gentlemen, please understand. We have a lot of work to do in this country. We have a lot of rights to make that we did as wrongs. We have to go out here and help people that people have been deemed, throw you in jail, forget about you. But we believe her because maybe she didn't look like you. But here's a guy who served 36 years based on a technicality. They only used an eyewitness. And it was the eyewitness. And the man she eyewitness said they had a mark on his shoulder. They asked the man, Mr. Williams, during his trial to take his shirt off. He had a mark on his arm, not on his shoulder. But somehow she was convinced, and she convinced the jury. This man has served 36 years. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for you tonight. As I leave you, please take all in all this information and please share this video. It can be helpful to someone. It can educate people. And I appreciate it. Okay. Thank you. Again, if you want to contribute, if you want to help, please do so. Please do so. Oh, I got a birthday coming up, son. So I will have my birthday list coming at you. But anyway, needless to say, I will see you guys next Tuesday. And we'll chop it up. And I may make a video tomorrow. A lot of stuff is going on. But thank you guys for all the support that you guys have given me. Take care of yourself, and I will see you later. Peace.